Okay. So yeah, good morning, ma'am. And yeah, it's so nice to think that we have come a long way here. And if we remember our journey, we just started with what is mind mapping and very basics of convergent and divergent thinking. And today, if you see, we have covered not only a lot of things, but also a lot of things evolved. Like last week, I remember, when I say last week, I mean the last session, I remember a beautiful story from your life, which of course you had given presentations and all, but when we made it, we saw it was a story good to share on international platforms like TED or something like that. And it can inspire so many people that yes, how a teacher or an educator, the role of educator in a person's life, how it can actually lead to success or even break someone. So, so that we saw. And so today, before we start, we're going to do two kinds of mind mapping today in this session. Yeah, it's 6:45 now, so we'll anyways still manage time where we do two mind mappings, interactive mind mappings by 8. And before that, I would just like to share a few topics, and each time I say a topic, I would want you to reflect upon what we have done in this particular area. For example, when I say the 5 laws of mind mapping, yes, I would want you to reflect upon. And in case if you have a doubt, you can always ask me.
Are we talking the MIG?
No, the MIG, there are 7 principles. But when I say 5 laws, it's basic. We start at the center.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Yeah, we draw curved branches. Yeah.
Okay, So we talk about, exactly. So that one I have my mind map right in front of me, in fact. So we have the 5 laws, correct. 1 second.
Yeah.
And if you tell me like that, it might not come. Yeah, okay. The branches, we start in the center, we have the words, we have the colors, we have the images, and we have the structure.
Yeah, and each of these things have significance. It's not just it is there, but Tony Buzan had structurally thought and put those things that why the image should be at the center, and we spoke about that in detail. Then, of course, the most important thing of his entire journey was the genesis of mind mapping is actually when he found how human brains work and the 7 principles, the MIG graph. And I would want you to just take a minute and think about all the 7 principles of the MIG graph.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's easier when I think about it from my own the mindset of the Wonder Woman.
Absolutely.
I think, MIG. So let's look at that also. So, yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Primacy, recency, repetition, mnemonics, interest, understanding and misunderstanding, the VR effect, and association. So so when I open
and if you remember in your speech, the VR effect and also misunderstanding and understanding about baby, then the chameleon, the VR effect and the misunderstanding in the minds of the people that they may have when you just use the word baby and how you touched it.
Yeah.
So it was both a combination of VR effect and your, what do you call it? The understanding, misunderstanding, understanding, misunderstanding, as well as association and repetition, what you want people to remember about you and your message. And there was very beautifully primacy, latency, and recency, and also the way you ended the story. So it was a complete package of all the 7 principles being followed in a way. And we also spoke about it during our assessment session. Okay, moving forward, do you remember that we had, if you want to generate a lot of ideas on any given topic, then and if you want to just keep on thinking, there was this 2 types of thinking, divergent thinking and convergent thinking. When we say divergent, we want to just let our ideas flow without giving them any tags, without judging them they are right or wrong, which an adult brain would generally do. We would just let it flow just like a child, and then we will narrow down. So for that, we spoke about the paperclip test, and I also spoke that how important it was, how this experiment was designed for NASA scientists, and all those stories were there. But the important part was after that, we did a 5-step process of how to do creative thinking. When you have a topic in hand and you have no idea, okay, what you're going to write on it or speak about it, and you just take and do speed mapping in the first step. 5
Speed
steps.
map.
After speed mapping, you review it.
Correct.
And then you, in the first step, it is divergent with speed mapping.
Absolutely.
No flow, no colors, nothing. It is just radiant, radiant, radiant thinking. And then second step, you would just narrow down by reviewing it, looking at it. Okay, may I add or delete something in the speed map? And in the third step, you would convert it into a mind map. And in the fourth step, you would take a mandatory break, because when you take a break, you know, your mind, and put your mind on something else, that is when it's kind of incubation period. And then finally, once again, you look at the same mind map and maybe also the speed map and see, okay, is there anything that needs to be modified? And from there, you convert it to whatever you want, a speech, a presentation, or whatever is the final, you know, thing. So this was a 5-step process about how to do creative thinking and have an outburst of ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving forward, I mean, I'm just talking about the basic things, not about the templates and all I've shared.
Yeah, correct. I was just thinking, yeah, absolutely.
And also we spoke about 2 important things that as a practitioner, certified practitioner, we should remember is, one is the importance of review. Why we need to review once in a while, because only when we review, because the entire concept of mind map is built around the concept that when our emotions are attached to the thing that we are doing, the moment we start mind mapping, either with hand or with software, you are putting your mind trying to, just now what you did was you were trying to recollect, your mind was reviewing, okay, this, and even if there was a loose connection, we say a loose connection or a loose wiring in your brain, that the thought was about to be forgotten, the moment you remembered it, it has now again attached strongly in your memory. So the chances of it remaining in your long-term memory is more now. So we need to review whatever we are learning once in a while. And we also spoke about spaced review in one of our sessions. We can do a review in 1 week, and then maybe in 3 weeks, and then maybe in 1 month. So we can decide our own space and interval based on our personality and our requirements. So all that we did, spaced review.
Which also reminds me, Subra, that I would like my entire sessions, I'm getting it one by one, and I keep losing it.
Okay. So you want it all together?
I want it all together so that I can have a full overview of it, because that becomes harder for my brain. Like when we're talking about the review process, I want it all together, and then I dissect it into the smaller pieces.
Absolutely. So we thought we would do that. So what we can do is, once our next session is over on 22, and all the recordings, we'll put it in a proper file where it comes as day 1, day 2, day 3.
That's fine.
And you can always access it, you know, based on, like, it's there with you. You just know, and with the topic. So we'll do that. Once your 22 session is over, we'll put it in a proper format and do that. We also do for people who take like even 1 month session or short sessions also. We do it day 1, day 2, day 3, and we give it. So we'll do it in that way. So definitely that would be done. And okay, so moving forward today, can you open your Mind Meister? And yeah, let us first open it.
Can you give me the sharing rights? Yeah.
Just a moment. Yeah. Okay, just a fresh one. And we need just 3 branches today. Okay. So
Subra, can you give me 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Subra.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, and the maid hasn't brought my breakfast. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to name the central theme as CMR.
CMR. Okay.
Yeah, CMR. Of course, you can rename it later. But yeah, so one branch would be, main branch would be creation. Yeah. The second branch would be maintenance. And the third branch would be reflection. Okay. So before we move forward, I would like to explain this a little bit to you. So in any coaching, or not just coaching, even if we do an audit of our day-to-day activities or monthly goals, we set goals, that's fine. We all set goals in the beginning of the month, year, and maybe with mind mapping, without mind mapping, with vision boards, whatever it is. That is the first part of it. Then we execute. Sometimes, for example, in my case, this sudden thing came up, and because of health issues, for example, maybe some of my goals will not be fulfilled by the end of this year. So what I had planned maybe originally. So of course, all those emergencies, crises will come. And some months it will be very good. Maybe we have actually achieved more than what we thought. So whatever it is, we need to do an audit at the end of a particular period, maybe a week, a month, quarterly, whatever it is, we all do audit. And if we are not doing, we need to do that. This is different from the SWOT analysis or something. It's just reviewing our own set of goals that we have set for the month or year. And there we have to divide all these activities into three parts, as you see: creation, maintenance, and reflection. So what I mean is, if you, no matter, even if whether we are looking at it from the perspective of maybe a young student, maybe someone who is in standard 9, a coach like you or me, or maybe a CEO of a company, his personal and professional life, if we divide, it is said that all work can be divided into these three categories only. He or she is either creating something, some idea, some plan, something he's creating, or he or she is maintaining. On a daily basis, we need to do a lot of maintenance activities, even as a coach. And there should be a time allotted when we reflect upon what we have done, so that it's more like a feedback kind of thing to self, what you have done correctly, what you need to improvise, and all of that. So we need to divide all our active, I mean, once we do the audit, when we do the audit, these are the three steps that we need to do. And we need to understand that it has been observed that most of the time for people, and this I have come across with people, especially from IT industries, and a lot of their time in life, they are just doing maintenance work. I mean, maintenance work in the sense, on a daily basis, even in their life, professional or personal life, they are doing mostly 50% to 60% of the time, they are just maintaining whatever they are doing. Creation takes the back seat, and reflection, they don't even remember that, okay, once in a while they need to reflect. So this an ideal thing is that creation should always be above 50%. An ideal thing. If we are doing, okay, 10 activities or 100 activities in a day, or if you just take a percentage, your creation should always be above 50%. Maintenance should, of course, take a huge chunk if your life is, I mean, in that way. But you should always have more than 10% of your time for reflection, because that is where, which will add fuel to your creation or creativity. And in the long run, it is your creation that will, it could be a simple creation of an ebook, it could be a simple addition to your course, it could be in a company, you just came up with a very nice plan for the coming year and you give it. I mean, if a youngster, a person in a early career is doing some professional development program, that is a part of creation. But if he's all the time just, what he's doing and just maintaining that, it is simply maintenance work that will not lead to, development. So what, this is a completely different theory that we do, but what we will do today is, and maybe you can repeat this exercise with your future, students and clients, is we will try to think about at least few activities in each of this branch. Percentage we'll calculate later. We'll go back to the mind map. I would want you to just write down, okay, under creation, what are the activities I do on a daily or monthly basis? Maintenance, what reflect? Maintenance could be just, maintaining your social media profiles, sending things to people. These are all maintenance tasks. Sending posters, this, that, and even maybe managing home or health, something that you're not doing fresh, just it is a repetitive work. Sometimes it might feel even redundant also. So yeah. Okay, curriculum design. Yeah. The mind maps that you create every day, that is definitely a part of creation. Yeah, the templates or whatever you prepare for your, yeah, your client content, specific content for your clients.
Yeah.
In case you are reading books and making summaries, or maybe you're making videos, so all of that. Yeah.
Mm.
And in personal front also, if you are, spending time in doing something, creating something new at home, I would want you to acknowledge all of that. Yeah, for yourself.
Mm.
For example, even if you're planning a trip, or you're planning, you're helping your child with uh, preparing a speech maybe, or doing something in the, academic front, those are all part of creation, because it takes your time and effort. You're doing something new. Yeah. Or even organizing family events.
Mm.
Okay.
And just having a. Mm.
Yeah. So this is very nice that the creation branch is coming, so nicely. I see some people, because of course you are a coach.
Oh, sorry.
Are you fine?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Stupid thing
Yes,
leaked.
please take care. Yeah, please.
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, please take your time.
For me, oops. I put a bottle on my. I was putting a hot water bottle on my bag,
Oh,
and then hot water bottle burst, and
oh
the
my
water.
God.
Yeah, that's why. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Oh my God, so stupid. Just burst on my. It really burnt my back.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm like, what happened? Sorry, Subra.
Another perfectly okay. You're fine now?
Yeah, it just burst, that
Yeah,
hot
I
water
understand that the
bottle,
hot
and
water bag. Yeah.
yeah, and it just started coming out and it started burning me, and
Yeah,
yeah.
it will. Okay.
Okay,
You're
very
settled
good.
now? Okay.
Yes, I'm settled. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So yeah, I was saying that it's great to see that unlike most of the people with whom we speak, I mean, over the years I've been speaking most of the time, even I see a lot of professors and all, they would say they would have very less branches, sub branches in the creation, and this is my experience with professors and IT professionals also. They were maintenance is where all the tasks will go on, and I mean all this huge branches will come out only from maintenance, and reflection would be just maybe one, creation could be one or two. But I see in your case it's very idle and well balanced.
You know, why I was smiling when you were talking about it. Was the reason why I was smiling was while you were sharing it, it reminded me of why do most people go into, why do they say that they are feeling stagnant, or why are they feeling discontent with their work? Because the word that always used to come to my mind when I was working with the university was I had become a hamster on a roll, which means I'm
Absolutely.
doing the same damn job
Yeah,
every
every
single
single
day.
day. Yeah.
And so as a result, there was no time to be creative. I mean, in terms of, I'm
Yes,
over here, it's all about when I'm reading or I'm doing or it's about reading and then researching and then application.
absolutely.
And this one, I always do it in such a way, where is my connection? So where I put, and this will go here, where it's all the time going back to my curriculum design. It's also going back to my, my social media, all this, it goes to, and this reading goes back to everything. Actually, this whole
It's
section
all
gets all,
interconnected. Yeah, it's all
yeah.
interconnected. I
So
understand that.
everything, research is, whether it's research for my papers, research, and this also requires, I feel like, just to share an example, that to be able to, I used to do a lot of university grants. And because I was part of the education quality unit, I was doing the, what is it called? Those people who want to get the next position, like when you apply for a senior lecturer or a professor. So I used to be one of the people who would write with them
Okay.
their proposals
Okay,
for.
here we call it APIs. We have API scores here in India. It's like
What is
how
it?
many paper we have API scores. Like it's like a set of questions they would ask, and how many papers we have published,
Correct,
how
correct.
many
So yeah,
conferences we have attended. So it's a complete
exactly.
5 or 6 page form that we need to
Correct,
fill up
correct, correct,
before
correct,
we
correct.
go for the next position.
Correct. So here I would be, as the curriculum, as the academic the developer, I would be supporting those who would want to write their nomination papers. So that was many years back in 2010, 2010 and 12, between those 2 years I was doing that. So now that I'm working with Somitra,
Mhm.
and so I know what to do, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it to now, like, the current times. So now again, in the creation part, I can keep writing whatever, but then it's also back to the collaboration. So
Yeah.
I reached out to all the university professors that I know who have been writing, who grant, who do research. I mean, not one is research grants, as well as the second one is
Mhm.
to find out for these entrepreneur awards or whatever, that how do they as a reviewer want the content to be laid out.
Absolutely.
So now again, in order for that, again, you have to be doing a lot of collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration. Yep. So I think that requires a lot of going back to meeting people. I've made a new goal. That's a funny goal. My new goal in October I set was I will meet one new person every week.
Wow. And that's something very interesting also, because you get to learn and learn about their life. They might be sharing their perspective. So yeah, it's
And I
interesting.
realized that actually I had been doing that already, because for every week, if I'm hosting somebody on leadership talks for emerging leaders, I have to meet somebody new,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
means I'm already doing that. So then I have
Okay.
to
And that way,
decide
yes,
that
yes.
that one is not counted. Then I had to put that aside. And now one new person outside of that
Yeah,
particular zone. So that I can meet more people, so that I can talk to
yeah,
more people and hear their experience or learn from them.
yeah.
And yeah.
And as you say that you have been already doing this, but maybe if you that is more like a live session. But when you do it, I mean, my experience of when I meet people, we don't record. It's just like I have been doing this with people from LinkedIn. Like if we have set up a very meaningful conversation through a post or conversations, I had been invited for coffee chats by a few. I have invited a few of them, and we set up a short,
And
like
in,
30 minutes
that
meeting.
that reminds me, Shubra, can I invite you to leadership talks for emerging leaders?
Oh yeah, sure. So sometime maybe, surely. Yeah, surely that would be an honor and a privilege for sure. So uh yeah, coming back to the point, what I was saying is like coffee chat and more like, we don't record the session. What we do
Yeah.
is we just have conversations around, at least the first session we never record. And all throughout, I have seen that there was so much that I learned. They have invited me to teach mind mapping in their classrooms next year. So opportunities came up, new collaborations were there. And of course, the best part was meeting a new person and then getting to know what is happening in their country, in their profession, their
Mhm.
perspective, their stories. We are sharing our stories. So it's a wonderful way. I do not have any goal as such, like how many people I'll meet and all, but I can definitely say that the moment it goes a little informal, we think it's informal, but then we always have a topic in mind. Like my topic is always educators, like how we can bring a difference to this
Exactly.
world, something like
Yeah.
that. This year, that was my topic. So whomever we met, the first initial chats on LinkedIn would be, okay, this would be the topic around which we will have an informal talk, like no recordings, nothing, just a formal coffee chat around that. And we would note down our learnings and share with each other at a later date, I mean, through DMs and all. And it has turned out to be wonderful, I think. I mean, you will love the experience. At least
Yeah,
that is.
absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. So it's all about one getting to know. So I'm
Mhm.
I'm loving the part that I'm meeting more people, but
Mhm.
also I had to make one more very conscious choice.
Mhm.
That in the pandemic, I have been meeting only people virtually.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have physically forgotten people who are near me. So now I had to tell my brain that I'm
Mhm.
going to be making an effort with my friends.
Mhm.
So it became a goal on one of my mind maps for my personal goals, my
Wow.
that friend goal. Then the second goal that I created was that even networking, I have to do it in person.
Yeah, absolutely. There's much required. I mean,
Absolutely.
at the moment as I said that this 26th of November, for example, I'm going for a physical event. Then, of course, 29 to 2nd of December, we have converted the event into, it was in Hyderabad, and because of my health conditions, doctor would not permit me to travel for long duration, at least this year, until December. So we have shifted it, broken it into two parts, where phase one will be online, and next day I'll be traveling to Hyderabad to, they will be hosting me, so we'll do that. So what I saw is in person, that physical connection, that networking, works. I think the momentum is much more there. That is what I found. Last year when I traveled to Mumbai, and I was there in an author's award, and the amount of people I met there, I mean, till now, there are so many opportunities came out for all of us there, because we had met in person there. We were there for an entire day. So I think that that's you have hit the point very correctly, that yes, that is required now that we have come out of the pandemic, and it's much needed. And of course, making a conscious effort to meet our friends and family in person.
No, it's very important. Like with my goal about and I set the goal when I was with you. I mean, with after you, that one was my own children's goal. How can I be a better mother? So I'm trying really hard to consciously remember that goal, so that I'm very goal driven. That works for my brain. It processes.
I would say that you are goal driven and also process driven and purpose driven, I would say, rather. I would extend that goal driven to purpose and process driven as well, now knowing you more, through the sessions. So so if you see that reflect maintenance, one is health, because creation has come out beautifully. One is health, one is social media. And do you also do this, daily basis, like sending emails? And I mean, have you delegated it completely?
I have nobody to send any emails to. Nobody writes to me. I was thinking about that.
That's saving you a lot of time, I would say. So okay, so maintenance, of course the family part will come there, and we have our own certain things, that where a certain amount of time goes out in a day, maybe just some maintenance, which is again important. And a reflection, one is your daily review. And also maybe do you have a system in place where you see that, okay, how many goals I've achieved this year, or maybe end of year review, end of month review, or something like that? We can always put in a reflection.
Yeah, so I've just started with because this year I've after my mind mapping, what I've done is I have done a couple of things. I've not done the yearly goal, because that I will set in next year. I've started with the monthly goals. So monthly goals, what I need to accomplish was one. And then the second part is about in the review process, there was something you just said something. I was wanting to share that with you. That how much have I invested on myself?
Absolutely.
So that is also a review, because what happened is I had forgotten that how much. One is so basically I put the heading as coaching. Coaching, one is pro bono, one is paid, and one is on self. So I created 3 categories so that the amount that I am spending on my personal growth, and am I getting the returns of that or no, whatever it is, but I need how many
that auditing is required, much required, because
and who are those people? And who are those people that I am meeting? Because when I don't have an account of the people that I'm meeting, 5,000 people, when I need someone to do something for me, I don't remember them. And I said, can you write me a testimonial? I can't remember who I've taught.
Understood. Yeah. So I think we can actually think about maybe at a later date, you can actually think about a template where you create that, okay, how are you going to, what kind of, as you say, that one is your personal investment, that reviewing how much you have invested, not just in terms of time and money, but it's also about, a lot of mental focus goes in there. So how much you have invested upon yourself, and a review of that, did it turn out to be beneficial? In what ways did it turn out to be beneficial? So all of those things, a good amount of time, as I say, must go into reflection, because that is that is from where you will get the fuel for your creation.
Yeah.
So that review, and as you say that you are setting a monthly goal, so that is in the beginning, I suppose, a beginning
Yeah.
of a month or something of that sort. Once you
Correct.
complete, let's say this November has ended, and
Yeah.
start of December, maybe even if you are traveling or something, just it would take you an hour or two to just sit down completely in silence and find out, okay, this is something I have done. Maybe I hit this many clients I have completed this
Mm,
client, even after taking your session, these are the benefits he or she has got from your sessions, and maybe she has done some progress in your life. So even that should be a part of your reflection and review.
I'm going to put
It
it,
should
yeah.
not it should not end. I mean, that's loop should close. Yeah.
So basically, these are I had joined last month, October here, so you can refer back.
Mhm.
And these are my goals, for example, all these that
Mhm.
I had put it as that need to be done this month, right?
Mhm.
And then obviously some important birthdays that I had put in. And then obviously it's going to my daily,
Mhm.
whatever needs to be done on a daily
Yeah.
basis. So these are certain things that I have, but I like what you
Wonderful.
just said, reflection for this month.
Yeah. And this, I mean, you can just highlight or put a kind of color so that you always
No,
remember to
I
come back.
agree with you that that color sticks in my mind then. Absolutely. Like this one, this
Mhm.
becomes a important color for
Mhm.
me. So
Mhm.
it was good that, it's staying in my mind that it needs to be done. So that was a good thing.
Yeah.
It definitely sticks out when I'm having those colors. When it's just words, it's not staying. So I
Yeah.
realized that part, that when you said that, when you do it, have
With
a color.
colors, yeah, with
Yeah.
colors and maybe some codes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the
Uh,
thinking was working, but it's again some just words, so it wasn't like staying in my brain.
yeah.
But I realized that that was yeah. See, like this one, I've put it as certain things that I have put it.
Mhm.
Uh,
Wow.
so yeah. Hmm.
So, in your reflection, you have written my learnings. Can we also add like uh, what I want you to put here is a lot of people you are teaching, coaching them, and you also have a team. So, what benefit or some even if it's a small amount, but there would be some transformation in their life as well as a result of learning from you. So, what is
Hmm.
that? Because that would give you a lot of boost to your brain to add back to your creativity.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
just added the new people also
yeah,
over
new
here.
people.
And
Yeah,
then when I put the new people, then I will have to think back that what did I learn from them? And I think this is an important thing
yeah,
that
and
you have
what they
shared.
also learn from you, if you can, during the interactions, you always, it may not be a
Hmm.
very formal testimonial, like once the sessions are over, you ask a testimonial, but even on a daily basis, when you interact with them, you will always they will have some wins in the week, during the week they will have some wins after taking as a
Hmm.
result of your sessions in their life. So you can
Hmm.
always, if
Hmm.
there's something that's standing out, like for example, I received a call, I remember that a boy, he made a mind map before his interview and he cracked. It was over a phone call that he told me, and
Right.
it made such a mark that I put it in the mind map. And now even when I'm uh, giving speech, or I was talking on speaking on a Toastmasters thing about how to use mind maps for public speaking, and the three different stages, that story came up, that because it
Hmm.
went into the mind map and then it went into the long-term memory, it is there in my brain, so that story comes up. So it's also a part of my story now, that I receive a call from a young boy saying it helped him in interview preparation and he cleared the interview. So something,
Hmm.
so this small wins from their lives as a part of your review and reflection process. Yeah.
So I think I also added my wins.
Yes, your wins. Yeah, your
My
wins.
wins.
Yeah.
My
Your,
wins. And it can
uh,
be small, but it is my win also.
yes, yes. Yeah.
Or it could be a testimonial. Exactly. I like what you've added on to this whole thing because it gives me
Mm.
something more like adding on what people are saying and putting it here that how have I touched their life?
Yeah. And if there is something significant, I would always want you to, put a color or something to it so that even after a year or two, it will always remain here whenever you come back.
Right.
Maybe you can just even add a small note, whatever
That's-
they have a small note or something that
Yeah.
after 2-3 years also it will be here when you
Mhm.
be, yeah.
Mhm.
So this is a very important part of reflection. I do it
Absolutely.
sometimes even manually on a mind map. I would write, and or I have journals where I would write. that, okay, this person mentioned about this, and it was a significant thing in his or her life. Somebody said that she wrote research papers, and now something that was pending for 6 months suddenly came up in 2 months after taking mind mapping session. So these are small stories, and they need not have the name of the person in my mind embedded, even if it's a 1-year-old story, because I had taken an effort to put it in my mind map. So it will stay with you. Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, I agree with you that I'm doing it, but yes, I like this part that at the end of the month itself, I was just doing the ticks before this. I was just doing the ticks of which ones have been accomplished over here, for example,
Okay.
the October month. So these
Okay.
were okay. So these were my ticks.
Okay.
So what was complete?
That gives a lot of satisfaction, kind of fulfillment, that okay, there are so many ticks in the map.
Yeah. So that one, but I would agree that a little bit of reflection would become a better.
It's just like to add to our story, because you are already doing so many things, and I'm sure there will be so many lives you are touching. And then there's something significant, not in the form of a testimonial always, but even during a daily conversation that you're having with them. It could be even a team member, and he or she said, okay, as a part of your team, he or she feels so. That could become a story.
Absolutely. I got a message in the night yesterday from it was really major, because yesterday Soumitra and Dr. Namika, my Soumitra is now project director, and Dr. Namika is leading the project Smart Class. So what we're doing, Subra, is we are moving into rural schools, and we are setting up we're taking schools and we're setting up smart classes in it.
Wow.
So Soumitra obviously can't do the physical part of going to each school. So Dr. Namika is leading this project. And yesterday was a very big win for us, because, well, one, he obviously traveled to Lucknow with her to go see the director of education, basic education. And Dr. Namik, and then when they reached over there, he was not able to go to the office, because as usual in India, they don't think that people who have disabilities need to go anywhere.
Oh my God.
So there was so there was no elevator, no ramp, nothing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then Dr. Namika had recently done also a program with me on persuasive communication. So anyway, she went upstairs and, literally, I don't know. So she talked to the guy, and finally the director of education actually agreed to come down to see Soumitra on the gate. And they were standing on the middle of the hall to do that presentation. I mean, I know this, like,
this is terrible, actually. This is terrible.
Exactly. For me, I mean, am I calling it a win, or am I calling it like a depressing thing?
No, but the thing is that I mean, we should write to the director.
Yes.
I mean, whoever is the person.
So did you see this thing? Like, can you see this is being done in the middle of the hall? They are having this chit chat. Okay, very good.
Okay, with a laptop in hand.
Imagine.
See, they have managed the
This is how they had to set up. This is how they had to set up in the middle of the hall. Soumitra is standing over there, and they are doing their presentation. And obviously, on the way back, he went to see the children of our batch one. So what I was trying to get to was that it was a win, because one, she was able to persuade him to come down. So for me, and then she sent me a message in the night saying, where is it? She sent me a message. Where is it? She actually sent me a message, and I felt so happy. And I was just about to, in fact, copy it. And she said, yes, ma'am. I said, have you reached home? She said, dinners, karke, all and bed. But very successful day. Thanks for teaching persuasive communication. All credit goes for this success to you. And for me, that was a very good, nice feeling, because, well, one is that we had the success of sharing our story to the director of education and him giving his overwhelming support to it, saying that add my name into the invitation card for the launch. I mean, he did everything that he could. But at the same time, when a person feels accomplished at their own level, that they were able to convey the message, that was also, I
Dr.
felt.
Anamika might be, she might have felt, she herself might have felt this sense of strong fulfillment. Yes, she was able to, break this
Get
and
that guy
make
to
that
come
person,
down.
yeah.
Yes.
If there is no
Otherwise,
capability, you have to
going
come down, yeah.
3-hour journey to Lucknow would have been a waste if we didn't manage to get this thing done. On the other, so this part was actually really pathetic. I mean, the worst example of it, and I want to, I mean, one day write about it.
Yeah,
And I
because this is
told my
completely
media,
against what we say that we are
that
inclusive people. And
in nonsense,
this is we are not inclusive if this is what is happening.
No, you have to hear the best example. The one I actually told my media person to get it published, I don't know why it's not come out, was Soumitra went to the disability court to get his disability papers signed, and the disability court did not have a ramp for him to go inside. He was sitting under the tree. I said, get someone to take a photo of you.
And this should come in newspapers, actually. This should
Absolutely.
come in newspapers.
He then sent it. Then in the end, disappointed poor guy had to go back. And then he sent that photograph to the disability officer. And then the guy called him up in the evening saying, oh, blah, 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 blah.
Whatever, there's no excuse for
whatever you say, you are saying this is a disability court. That means people who have disabilities are the ones who need to be here. Yeah. And you are not wanting this disabled people to reach you.
Exactly. I mean, even schools are, it's mandatory to have ramps, and these are the very basic washrooms for them. And I mean, forget about a disability court or, office like that. A school is supposed to have that. Roads are supposed, I mean, this is,
it should reach
media persons, and in a good way that, yes, we need to come up with this. Otherwise, this is not something, somebody needs to go and change this. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I said. Now, after this movement that we're doing on the schools, I have to be one of them to be pushing this damn disability thing, because it's really bothering me that how they're treating people. I mean, this is pathetic.
Yeah.
Okay, wait for me. Sorry, we were on the CRM.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So the best part of your CRM is creation is fantastic. What I only wanted was that a more of reflection comes up from your end, which we already added to your November goal, and even you can do it for your weekly, monthly, or even end of December. Maybe you would want to see all that you have done from January, and you would be feeling very accomplished. And that there's no doubt about it. Whatever you have done in this entire year, and there you can actually highlight, okay, this is, maybe you can make a separate mind map of your wins. So this give a very good signal to your brain to start fresh in the year, a new year.
I think my biggest win this year, I don't know, it hasn't come true, but yeah, yesterday I received a message and I was on cloud nine. Subra, you're one of the first people that I'm sharing outside the inner circle. And this person sent me a message saying, ma'am, I have been nominated for a national award, and I would like you to accompany me to the Rashtrapati Bhavan for accepting that award.
This is goosebump moment.
I couldn't believe it. I wanted to cry out. He said it's been given by the President of India, and I want you to be there with me. I felt like crying.
Of course, this is a moment, and I would say the moment in the life of
the moment. That means there must be something fucking damn right that I must be doing that God is seeing.
Absolutely. And this is, as I said, that this is a goosebump moment. I mean, the moment that any coach or you made a difference in somebody's life.
You get a message saying, I want you to be with my partner to go to see the president. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And that's going to happen on the 3rd of December. Wow. So I'm like already palpitating.
This is definitely, something you would remember for a lifetime, that you have made a difference in somebody's life. Otherwise, why? I mean, it's a very special thing. We would only tell the special person of our life to accompany us for an award, prestigious award like this.
Absolutely.
Even for convocation, we call a very special person, and this person is going for such a high, award, and asking you to accompany, I think that itself is a big win. I mean, that just removes
All
everything.
wins are too small for me already. Like now for this year, everything has become too
Yes,
small
I'm
because
so happy to, and I'm honored to know this
I
news
know
directly from you.
I couldn't.
It's
It's too
lovely.
big a news to share with. I wanted to be official. I get my official because obviously you have to submit your
Mm.
uh, uh, the uh, the identity card so
Yes,
that they
yes, yes.
create the invitation and then obviously the
Of
security
course,
protocol and
it's
everything.
yeah, it's a big event, of course. But then, yeah, definitely looking forward to, when you share it publicly
Oh
and
my
with
God, that was
pictures and
going to
all
be
of
too
that. It would
much.
be love.
Too
Yeah,
much, too much. I can't believe it.
so
I
happy
haven't
for
yet
you.
shared it with my mission on the moon also because it's too big to actually share it. It's too big.
But
I
then you
want it to
deserve this.
happen.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it happened because you deserve this. You have made
Oh,
a
yeah.
difference. You have touched somebody's life so deeply that he or she wants this,
Oh my
from
God,
you.
that's
Yeah. So
crazy. I know.
congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah,
That
this
was
this
too
is
much.
a story.
Too
Yeah,
much for me.
this is again a story from your life.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
soon, world will come to know about this. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just too much for me to like I
So
felt so
soak
blessed.
in that. So
Yeah, I
your
felt so blessed just receiving that message that
wow.
I would like you to be my partner for this event. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I said, you've given me such an honor that I never thought that I deserved. I mean, it was too much. But
That's
yeah,
how you make a change to somebody's life, and you don't realize, but that person, as you say, even Dr. Anamika, she felt such a sense of fulfillment that okay, she is the one who have done this, and it's because
yeah,
she learned it from you. So yeah, and this
absolutely.
person, yeah. So
Absolutely. So
congratulations
I
once
will
again.
thank you. I'm definitely, yes, what you said. I need to capture that moment as my highlight, as how I felt. And what I'm going to do is I will also add this a screenshot
Yes,
over there
yes,
because so
yes.
that it's that moment that happened and I want to capture it. Perfect.
Absolutely. So yes, so in the CMR, our idea would be that, of course, your creation. Generally, I would say people to increase the amount of I mean, the percentage of work that goes into creation is one. But for you, it's already there. Only thing is reflection. Or now that we have seen capturing the moments and reflecting, reviewing, so all that if it
Mm,
comes, then I think we have a perfect balance. Maintenance, anyways, you have people to delegate, with whom you collaborate and then delegate certain
absolutely.
things. And of course, certain things need to be there, like health. We must take care of it, and your coaching, workflow, your family. This are something that okay, this much of maintenance, maybe 20% of your time goes here. So when I decide, or when I see in some, if I call it an idle month, would be one where my creation is somewhere around 50 to 60%. I have
Mm,
spent a significant amount of time, because I'm always writing something. Writing is a
mm,
very basic part of my entire thing. Like if I don't mind
mm,
map on a particular day, it's still fine, but writing should not stop unless I'm sick or something. But like writing should not stop because all this goes into the next book. So it's always
mm,
like I have diaries where I write, or sometimes I'll type. So that's a part of my creation process example. So an idle month is where my creation is somewhere between 50 to 60%, and
mm,
the remaining 40 or 45% is divided between maintenance and reflection. Sometimes maintenance takes up because, for example, now this month I know that I have to pay a lot of attention to my health. I cannot
mm,
exert myself. So okay, maintenance is going up. Reflection will be like maybe just end of the day, I'm putting down my thoughts and what better I can do and all of that. End of the month, I'll review, but mostly it is between, the division of 40 or 45% is between maintenance and reflection. And ideally reflection takes a good amount of task, like reviewing, capturing the moments. I also write down, for example, I have what I mean this I'm not sure you would want to do it or not. What I do is, for example, I read 4 books this month.
mm,
So what I do is I just go back on a particular Saturday, end of the month or something, and I'll say, okay, how much do I remember? How much did I implement? And just
mm,
asking a few questions to myself. It's just like auditing, self audit. And I'll say, okay, or maybe did I work on this? For example, I'm planning to take up a course, and did I complete that course? Do I have some undone course or not? So just some
mm.
random questions I'll ask, and okay, then I'll do some reflection and I'll say, okay, this was right, and maybe this I'll just change a little bit. Sometimes I see, okay, my morning hours, are very busy because, you know, I have a ritual, like I'll get up and no matter it's winter or summer, I'll first take bath and then I have my meditation and then I can even come for a session with you or anyone else or, you know, start my day. So is that taking too much of my time because it's winter? So should I, you know, 15 minutes here and there, should I adjust? All that thought process I put, and I call it a part of the reflection. And I see that, you know, it adds a lot of clarity for the next month or the next cycle, whatever. So all that I do, and that's how I call and from the books I have read, from this activity creation, maintenance, and reflection. I have attended sessions also just on this from different professors, you know. So they said this is idle, like what you are doing is almost idle only. If you say creation, then maintenance, and then reflection. Reflection also, you have now said that, okay, you'll be capturing all those moments and testimonials, your wins, highlight them. So, and maybe if you're reading something or you have applied a particular principle in your life that you have read in a book or come across, or even those coffee chat conversations that you're planning.
Yeah.
So reviewing them and how a beautiful experience it was. So
Yeah.
all of that will go somewhere, and you know, it will be a completely balanced CMR for you. And you can always try this with your clients as well.
This thing, I don't know, there are a number of books behind me, right? So when people ask me, do you read? And I said, no, I don't read. Actually, I don't read.
Okay.
But then I had to this time tell myself that that is actually not true. You know, like I'm telling my brain I don't read. I'm not acknowledging that I'm reading. You see, because I'm constantly reading for content purposes.
Yeah.
So I am not reading. I was only associating reading with as if I'm reading for pleasure, but it was
Oh.
never that. So then
But if you're researching, I think you have to read, right? While you're
yes. So
researching.
I was not, so for me, I would tell people that I'm just reading so much that I don't have time to read. So my brain was not acknowledging that how did I get all that knowledge if I did not read, for example, right? But my brain did not process that information. So in fact, that was something that I was, in fact, in my November goals, I have to write down that even if it's a half a book I read, I did read a book.
Of course.
I need to
Even if it's just a page you have read.
exactly. So I need to say that I read, because I otherwise say I don't read, and my students are saying, if you don't read, then how are you teaching us?
I mean,
Right?
of course, knowledge is like, you know, we learn either through experiences, reading, talking with people. These are all different kind of research that is constantly, you know, going on. And from there, it's coming, you are giving it to the, you know, your clients and everyone. So, of course, you are reading, yeah, but then acknowledging the fact is very important, because if you
I
constantly
have to
say you are not
acknowledge it.
reading,
Yeah.
yeah.
Reading,
So,
I'm
yeah.
putting it in reading. That did I do reading? I have stopped. I'm not. This was a big shift in my and recognition on my part. I did not realize that what I was doing. I did not recognize it. So that was something that I have recently recognized.
And I think that is a part of the review, because you know, you under a reflection that yes,
Absolutely.
you are reading, but you're not acknowledging it. Now, once you
Yeah,
acknowledge, you'll feel better, and you know, obviously the
absolutely.
urge to read more will come up.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Absolutely. So that has been quite an interesting shift in my mindset towards my attitude towards reading.
Okay, so excellent. I think, yeah. So, and the reading review also, you can, I mean, a review of whatever you have read, or just like, you know, for example, I hear a lot of times from you about John Maxwell, in our conversations in the FB group or even in on different forums. So, uh, if you have actually applied some of their principles or something, you can always, you know, think about it, even a small thought, okay, how did it help me and all. And then you will see that your brain is actually connecting, forming those, you know,
Yeah.
rewiring those connections and forming those connections. So it will automatically come up in a situation where you didn't
Absolutely.
even think. You are talking to someone and it will come up, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only thing is that we want to put it here so that your brain takes it as a signal, okay, I am reading, I am doing this. These are my
Absolutely.
wins, you know, I am doing this. So automatically it will fuel, add more and more fuel to your creative process.
No, I
So I
agree with
think,
you. The fact is that I don't acknowledge my wins was my drawback. I knew I was doing, but I didn't acknowledge the wins. So now I've started acknowledging my wins, and that is again giving that energy to my inner identity to keep doing more.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think this is wonderful. And what we will do is, before we move to the next map, you could actually
Yeah.
actually repeat
Sorry.
this exercise with at least a few of your clients and see how it works for them, because not everybody, you have reached a long way in your life, you are doing wonderful, but if you are dealing with people like, in my case, I also deal with sometimes young students, like 25 years, just fresh out of master's degree, and they have joined some new job or something, so they are in the early career. So all of these people, they may not feel like they are doing anything in the creation. So from their mind, you have to take things out of their brain, and see that whether they are creating anything, or how they can add more time to their creative process, lessen their maintenance, increase their reflection. So if you can continue, make your own version of your exercise, this kind of exercise for your clients, it would be great.
Yeah,
From
I
your
agree.
mindset, I remember this book I have just started reading yesterday, Mindset by Carol Dweck. Yeah, it's a wonderful book. Yeah, mindset.
Okay.
The book.
Yeah, I love that book. Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
a wonderful book.
yeah.
But again, I haven't read it completely. I have it there. And it was a major shift that it created in my mind. But I was not able to finish off reading that book because the font is too small for me. So
Yeah,
once I got interested in this, in the concept of mindset 2 years back, then I started reading about it from all the sources possible.
absolutely. I mean, the more we read about mindset, the more we understand. In fact, the other day there was some audio program on LinkedIn where they were talking about mindset, and I remembered you that Shubra, audio events are interesting, and I found it interesting actually. I think I had some block that, okay, I was not listening, but once you mentioned, I said, let me try. It was interesting. They were talking about mindset, and four different people were speaking, so it was nice. And then I started reading this particular book also. I have heard it in Audible earlier, but I wanted to read it this time by holding the physical book. So yeah, so reflection. And okay, if you can just repeat this exercise with at least one or two of your clients or your team members, and find out that how it is helping them, and are they aware also that they should be dividing their task into this three, and creation should be tipping, and maintenance should be always on the lower side, of taking less amount of their time and energy and focus. So yeah, moving forward, can we again start a fresh map? Even though I mean the time is less, but I would want at least to start that. And here I would, even the previous mind map, you can always write down, my CMR or something like that. You can always change the name if you wish.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. So this is again just a handbook. And what would you name? For example, the idea here is what we wanted to, not we, I would say it's kind of a mandatory thing also, that in fact, even if you take not a week's time, but you say, okay, Shubha, I need 10 days, even that is fine. But as a part of this program, and I have done this with other people also based on what they are teaching or whatever area they are in, a handbook of at least 25 to 30 pages of whatever you are doing. Suppose a new client joins you on, um, let's say, your one-to-one program or something. So you have an ebook, and you don't need to create this ebook like you have to write and all, because you are teaching through mind mapping. It has to be in the form of a mind map only. Mind map only. The central topic will be at the center, and so can we just think about and at least take let's say 10 minutes time to create that right now, in the sense, if you're talking about leadership, what you tell them in the beginning, and then very basic. For example, if I do what I do for mind maps with students is, it's very basic. I talk about convergent divergent thinking, right brain and left brain. I talk about some mindsets, and from there I just give them a very basic about what is mind mapping, laws, and then it's like a 30 pages thing that comes up, and it's I mean it's a program for students where I give them. So
Shubhra, when you normally do it, like, I mean, I've been doing a lot of it for my proposal creation. So, for example, so I'm doing the notes inside, and that becomes your block, right?
yes.
Yeah. So that becomes, because how we talked
Notes,
about.
and I also add links. For example, my own,
Yeah.
it could be my own YouTube links.
Mm,
For it could be a link to another talk. So even Tony Buzan's talk, there is a Tony Buzan's TED talk. So I also send my people there also inside the ebook. And also I leave my email ID, because those are all clickable links. If I want them to go and watch my TEDx talk, I will put a clickable link there. So it has to be, and I don't want you or anyone to waste time on, again, opening a Word document, typing there, putting it in an ebook form, and not required, because people who will come to learn from you will anyways be knowing about mind mapping. At least they will have a basic idea, because you'll be telling it to them. So it can be just in the form of a PDF, where the first mind map will come on the top page, and then point 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.1, 1.2, that way it would come.
So I can do something like a leader's mindset. So in this whole program, what are the 3 things that we're going to be covering?
Sure.
Is that how you can do it? Or
Yeah, I mean, so what would be your introduction? What would be your first? Would it be your, kind of something? It has to start with a message or something?
Okay, so it could be. Is it like a forward or a preface?
Yeah, it's more like, not forward. I wouldn't say call it forward. Yeah, maybe a preface, or at least a story about a short story, like how we do in online courses and all.
So what do we say? What do we call that? My story?
Yeah, or even,
what do we call it? Preface, right?
yeah, preface, or yeah, let's put preface. Yeah, because not forward. Yeah, preface, and where you talk about a little bit about your story, and the purpose. What are they going to get? So if you remember the book thing,
Yeah,
that we did 2 weeks back, I think.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
more like talking about the purpose, your purpose of writing the book, and what they will get, but in very short, not like a complete full book, 100 to 100
Yeah,
pages book, because this is very short one we want to create.
yeah,
Yeah, how to use this book also, because
yeah.
and what the objective, maybe the objective. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Really? So yeah. So the objective, right? And who's the audience?
Yeah, objective from the of like, what will they get after reading this? And this you can offer as a free, when even if you're taking a 3-day
Yeah.
workshop, or this can be like a starting point for them. They read and come this after the first day. Yeah. And then, and you need to also remember that you cannot put a lot of your content here. It has to be very basic, but at the same time it should connect them with you. Maybe you can give links to your TEDx talk, you can give links to some of your online public videos there, something of that sort. Maybe a small even a testimonial can also be included here. Like, I have testimonials where children actually came and told that they had some fears in their mind, and now it's gone because they have started mind mapping. So a simple handwritten testimonial from one of my students, I have put it there. So something of that sort, some testimonial should come, and very basic content should be very basic, but from your perspective. And there should be definitely a link to a mind map. There should be a link to a mind map where you talk about your story. I remember we have done this mind map where you are at the center and you talk about all your achievements and your, so that map, if it can come somewhere as a small image or something, yeah, we can add a block, right, in one of this. Or maybe the picture where you have added 6 small Kirandeep, Sandhu, and then small things. So you're a coach, you are you're an educator, and all that. Maybe that picture can come somewhere, so that will automatically come as a picture in the book also. So just trying to put that the moment somebody comes, and this should not take more than a day. If you just sit and because you have all the things, just you need to put it there, and your handbook will be ready using mind maps. We are doing it the easy way. Yeah. Mindset, in your content, one definitely should be the mindset of mindset, and what are the myths around leadership. Maybe I don't know about the topic much, but yeah, some myths around the topic. Mindset, yeah, challenges, mindset, myths, and then what you offer in your higher level programs, that should come somewhere. So this will serve like a complete
content can also be
yeah.
And then what will be covered, is that how we are is it going to be under the call to action? We will say what else we'll cover, or is it going to
Yeah, in call to action, it will be the different kind of programs that you offer, the types of programs that you offer.
And then this could have yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe I mean, in the content itself, once you talk about the mindset, myths, challenges, and how to develop a leader mindset, do you also talk about basic of, like, there might be a person who may have a complete, wrong understanding of who a leader is. They think that it comes with some entitlement and all of that. So maybe a little bit about, leadership, like how and what it is. So something, maybe some basic content on that, maybe a chapter or two dedicated. So here we will not be having chapters, here we'll be having points, like maybe what is leadership, and it's about empowering others.
I can add in my, I have written the 10 commandments of leadership, right? So there's already an article which is written, so which can be added over here.
Yeah, and you can also, that article itself can be added here. You can send them to that article.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can do it either way, because this is more like, a new way of giving them a handbook where they actually read that article and come back, because this is something they will have to do. They must do when they are taking this coaching from you. Yeah, 10 commandments of leadership. Yeah. And you can, of course, ask them to also watch your leadership talks if this is something you want. I mean, this is just a thought. If a specific leadership talk, you want to watch them.
Yeah. And and then they can go to the what is it, the leadership talks for that podcast, and then redirect them to what were the challenges that probably women face, example.
Yeah. So this way, it's so maybe even in PDF, it will hardly come to some 20 pages, or 15 to 20 pages, but it's great because each of them will have a link to some other this thing, your podcast or your YouTube channel or your whatever it is. But if you want them to see some pictures, we can always put them. For example, you have written testimonials, and you can put 3 pictures, like testimonial 1, or you can just give it a story, like that goosebump moments. And for example, you are putting it next year. Once that event is over, you call it a goosebump moment and a picture of that. Next testimonial can be just one word that attracts the attention, and the picture should be there embedded in that thing only, so that it comes as a picture in your PDF also, and a small comment on top. So it will come as a below the picture, a writing part will come. So that way, if you think, what it will look like, a very systematic book, ebook, handbook, and whatever this entire image will anyways come in the first page, and when you convert into PDF, it's ready for them. So there's nothing to worry about. So it'll look wonderful. I have been doing this for quite some time now, and I keep on evolving, and I keep on refining. Okay, this can be changed here and there. I also do it. I mean, not required, but what I do sometimes is I will make the PDF completely here, and then from there, now I have a base, and most of the time from there I have actually converted into, from 20 pages it became 40 pages, because I had the base. And later, maybe after a month or two, I said, okay, let me just find out. And when I took a printout, I said, okay, there is so much material here. I just now need to keep on extending. And now from the 20 page, it easily becomes 100 pages also. Maybe in future, yeah. So that way, but this handbook, it should, I mean, before we finish up the course, this should be ready. This, because it's a part of the program. Yeah.
So we will finish it in January or next week?
I mean, next week, I know it's too early, but at least.
No, but I like it. I mean, this will give me a bit of focus because I like
not
it.
January, by November at least, means we don't want to delay it for next year, but we want to.
No, I like what you said. Let me at least put a draft out,
Yeah,
a basic
because
draft.
what I feel is, if now that we have been talking for so many sessions and we have been interacting, I know that if you sit, you already have all of this. It's nothing that you have to pull something new from somewhere. But yeah, all you have to do is you have to think. That thinking time is required, that focus is required, because you have to maybe repurpose some content, put it there. So all of that will need some time. So, but 1 week, if you are not too busy, it's a good thing to do.
I think I like your idea. I want to do it.
Yeah. So this is a part of the program where your handbook should be developed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's
Of
very
course,
good.
later you can always convert it and keep refining it. But the base should be developed before we officially close this program. And officially we were supposed to close in November, and this January one is more like a question answer session and the leadership thing. Not leadership, sorry, coaching thing.
Yeah, I like it.
So
No,
yeah,
I think I like it. I will do it. I will do it.
so,
I
yeah.
will work on it.
So these were the two mind maps that we wanted. One is the handbook. Maybe we have spent a little lesser time here, but we can always pick it up when you complete it. And you may want to drag items here
And
and
we
there,
can
put
start
some
tweaking it up.
Yeah, then we can, once you complete it, we'll again come back to this and we'll talk more about this.
I like it.
I remember your point that we will be having sessions in January, and next week we are on. It'll be a usual session. And only once the next week sessions are over, what I would do is today's recording, also everything, I'll keep it for time being. I'll just keep it like this, because now you can focus here. And once next week is over, we'll put it all together from session 1 to the final until November 22, all sessions in an order, so that you can always go back and revisit in a systematic way. So we'll be doing that next week.
I love it. I can, oh my God, I'm already loving it.
Yeah.
Because I was just supposed to be talking about leaders without titles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to now create this as my handbook for that session that can be given to people at that session. So this is going to be my
and people actually want, when you teach them something, they want kuch hai kya aapke paas, some material
I like it.
they can go back and read.
No, I like it. I'm going to do this because I want to, because in Ayodhya, when I go for my launch, I have to be doing a workshop for the education department, which is on teachers leading without a position. And I think that what I'm going to do is create my leader's mindset, because it's not about position. Anybody can be leading if they lead themselves.
The mindset is there, yeah. We don't need, leaders.
And then if I
actual leaders do
create
not
my
need
mind map
titles.
also,
Yeah.
and this will also become my mind map, which I can utilize for doing my presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. For that, and then at the end of the session, you can, because they may not know what is a MindMeister or what all of that, but they can always read a PDF. They can click the links. They can go to the channel. All of that. And the 10 commandments, I would want you to redirect them to wherever, LinkedIn or blog or wherever it is.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's giving me more focus. I have now, I was supposed to prepare for that content. Now this is going to be my content for that workshop.
Excellent. So I'm glad. So, it just came up that
Good.
way. And I think the timing was also perfect that it came up today. So,
Excellent. I love it. Absolutely.
Okay,
Wonderful.
so
thank you so
this was
much.
all from my side today.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to meeting you next week. And the reason I'm speaking very slowly, doctors say that do not put, pressure on your abdominal muscles, because I think there are 8 stitches. So
you've got to be slow and steady.
Yeah, even so with Soumitra, I was yesterday. Today I'm feeling better. I think I met him on Saturday.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, I think. So I was that day. Every day I'm getting better. So that day it was much very slow pace. So Soumitra was saying, "Subra, आपका energy चला गया." नहीं, energy है, but
you want to close the recording. Otherwise, you'll have to.
Yeah, just a moment.